So it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Lance Teel, the Regional Account Manager for ConvergeOne, the business partner who drove the deal with Allegiant Travel. So I love this story, Lance, and I know you know this by now because we've been talking a lot this past couple days, but it pulls together many of the things we've pulled into the Power portfolio to align ourselves to be relevant in the new market. Power 8, Scale Out, Linux, DB2, Flash, and CAPI was a big part of the roadmap discussions that you had with the client. So maybe, Lance, you could tell us a bit more about how this opportunity came about and how it developed.
Well, first of all, Polly said I get 2 minutes back because it's CAPI and Power 8. So thanks, John. Anyway, it was a true co-sell model. The client rep brought us into the right level, and that's really key. We leverage relationships with the CIO, the lines of business, and we look for the whole solution. We went down to Austin, visited you, Fadi and the team, and we really showed them Power 8, CAPI working in the lab a year ago, which was really key for the long-term solution. It was a collaborative approach. We had our VAD, Arrow, get involved for a POC. We had Tom Garofalo from the Flash team involved. And we really couldn't have done it without the support on the ground of John Stransky here locally and a lot of the team, Jason, who you work with quite a bit, from Lab Services. So it was a really collaborative approach across the board. And by the way, I made money, so I need to borrow Eric's coat, which is good, right?
So Lance, the one thing that I find really neat about this is that you got beyond the just cost takeout discussion, right? All too often, I think we allow our clients to take us down a path of a simple financial discussion, cost takeout. Now, while you delivered that to the client, I also understand that through the full solution, you actually delivered top-line growth, and which led to some, a nice letter from the CEO, et cetera. Can you elaborate a bit on this?
So first of all, on the cost avoidance, versus x86, we saved them $1.2 million. That's huge. Let's give them a round of applause. 1.2, that's great. So the really good part, though, was that Brian O'Neill, the solution architect, had a long-term vision of the solution. And it really evolved around Cyber Monday, which is the biggest airline booking date, right? So when we looked at that, we had to really deliver this by a week before Thanksgiving. We cut it a little bit close. And once we got there, we had 3,500 concurrent users last year at Allegiant. This year, they had 8,500 concurrent users on Cyber Monday. And all of that was only tapping out at 10% of the resources of the solution. That resulted in a revenue growth of 8 million to 11 million, and we did get a letter from the CEO congratulating us and IBM team to the whole staff at Allegiant. They couldn't have done it without this. It was a 40% increase in revenue, and it was huge. And by the way, response time, this is for Kurt out there, the reports on Flash went from 6 hours down to 15 minutes. So that's huge, right?
Wow.
On top of that, yeah, it was good. Yeah, you can clap for Kurt. I'm sure he'll like it. But the other cool thing was, if you look at top line growth, if you look at the bottom line savings, if those are the friends, doing that with Flash is kind of like friends with benefits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like you had a one-day ROI.
A one-day ROI, it's huge. That's right.
That's great.
That's right. So one of the things about Allegiant, and last time I flew to a conference here in Vegas, I flew on Allegiant. And you'll notice their tagline is, travel is our deal. They know how to give a deal on travel. They know about value, and they know how to get every bit of value out of every dollar. So I mentioned earlier that there's a perception out there that power is expensive, but you were able to convey the value of the solution to the client. So let's bring it back a little bit to Linux, because clearly we're taking a strong stance on Linux on Power. So maybe you could share with the team a little bit about how you were able to convey the value of the Linux on Power solution.
Yeah, I think it was key looking long term, the DB2 Blue, using Linux on Power, and it was the overall value of the solution. You have to get to the line of business. So we talked a lot about this week. It's getting new questions, and it's like, do you have Hadoop? Do you have data oceans? What are you doing about them? To new people in the organization, not your standard system admin at IT. You're going to get new cash. So it's new questions to new people for new cash. So go make some money. Wear Eric's coat.
Lance, can't thank you enough for sharing the Linux on Power story and for joining us here on stage. Lance, thank you.
Let's give it up for Lance.